Hello. Hi. I'm Michelle. Yes, yes. Thank you. Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Thank you so much for sending this out. Letting me know. Yes. Yeah, your name, sort of.
Okay. I see. It's my love with oh God.
Hi, Chris. How are you? Candidate seated down in the front 2 rows, please. Hey, that's a lot. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Sit next to you.
You have name tags. Yeah. I like things in a certain order. Yeah. Oh. Well, glad I did see that. Oh, quite lovely. Yep.
Really are.
Super. All right, can I have your attention, please? Thank you. And welcome. Welcome to a great evening with lots of great candidates. We're really lucky as Republicans to end up with such good candidates for lots of different offices. I want to start by having a prayer. And Mr. Sossaman, where are you? He said he would do that for us tonight.
Thank you. Let us pray. Lord, thank you that we live in a country where we have the freedom to gather like this with like-minded people, to hear from candidates who will share their heart. We pray and ask that you'll give us ears to hear and a mind to understand and process those things that are critically important. We pray your blessings upon our gathering this evening. May it be beneficial for all of us. And we pray, God, you'll keep us safe and from harm. And all that you do for us now and in the hours and days to come, we'll thank you and praise you. In Jesus' great name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Once Mr. Sossaman gets down the steps, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, just a couple little instructions before we get started with each candidate. I have them sorted by the office in which they are vying for. And when I introduce that group, we only have no more than 2 at a time. So they'll come up here and sit in these chairs. The first person will speak. The second person will be introduced and speak. And then we'll have 3 minutes each for questions from the audience. So if you've got 2 candidates, that means we'll give 6 minutes for questions. Now, I was fortunate in the fact, in one way, we had to cancel an event on Monday. It gave us a little extra time today. So at the end, we could take more questions if the candidates so choose. And we'll try and stay on time as best we can. We want to make it a friendly gathering, but yet want to get people out of here tonight too when you're ready. So thanks for coming out in this cold weather, first of all. That, you know, and more coming. So we kind of fit this in right in the middle. So I'm really happy about that. So with not any more ado, we will begin. The candidates for U.S. Senate, could you please come to the front? First speaking will be Michelle Morrow, and then Mr. Thomas Johnson.
And how will I know when my time is up?
Right up there. Oh, she's going to
The big-
start that
Oh,
once
start
you
that
get
again?
started
Okay.
talking.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. It is a joy to be with everyone. I am Michelle Morrow, and I am running for U.S. Senate. But there is one thing that I want to clear up. I am actually not running for Tom Tillis's seat. I am running for Jesse Helms's seat because it is past time for us to return this seat to a bold, outspoken, unapologetic Christian conservative who is going to
push the woke agenda out of North Carolina, out of the United States, and is going to retire Roy Cooper forever. And that's really why I'm running. And we're all here tonight. Why? Because we have a very important event in about 33 days, and that is a primary. And we all know that the goal of the primary is to pick the candidate who has the best chance at beating the Democrat. This is all about strategy. And I'm going to tell you tonight why I am that candidate. Because in this race, who we need to defeat is Roy Cooper. And I believe that it is our duty as North Carolinians to protect the rest of the country from Roy Cooper. Just like those in California, I believe, have a duty to protect us from Gavin Newsom. We must let the rest of the country know how incredibly dangerous and radical Roy is. And I'm the person to do that. I have a couple of questions, and if you know the answer, you can just pop it out. If not, I'll tell you. I have a question. How many votes did Michael Whatley get in the last statewide election in 2024? That's right, 0, because Michael Whatley has never run for anything, any public office in North Carolina. Another question, how many votes did Don Brown get in the 2024 general election? He got 0, that's right, because he came in 4th in a congressional race. He got 8,500 votes from that congressional race. How many votes, ladies and gentlemen, did you get for me and bring in 2024 in the general election?
Yeah.
2.7 million votes. Thank you. And you know what? That is more votes than Tom Tillis received when he won this seat in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, I can beat Roy Cooper, and we must beat Roy Cooper. Why? Because I want to remind you of what we are going to protect the rest of the nation from. Roy Cooper is the one who vetoed the Born Alive bill. He basically said that if a baby should manage to survive the horrors of an abortion, he wants it to be left by itself to writhe and cry until it dies instead of giving it medical attention. Anyone who does not have the compassion for the most vulnerable in our society can never be a U.S. Senator. Roy Cooper is the one who refused to work with ICE and has developed sanctuary cities where people are dying in broad daylight. Roy Cooper is the one who appointed liberal judges who are not putting people behind bars and allowing them to be arrested and released 10 and 15 and 20 times until people are murdered. Roy Cooper is the one who locked down our loved ones and didn't let us see them as they were dying during COVID. He can never be a U.S. Senator. And I intend that when I am your senator, I am going to go up and I'm going to reveal all of the waste and all of the fraud and all of the ways that they have been robbing from all of us, the American taxpayer. And we will not ask for one more dime of taxpayer money until they give an accounting for where our money has gone. I'm also going to bring justice. Explain to me how we can, in 6 minutes' time, take out the largest tyrant in all of South America. And in 6 years, we cannot find the people that did the coup of 2020. And that false election, that we can't take hold to account the people that destroyed our country through COVID. Please vote for me. We've got to rescue North Carolina. We've got to protect the rest of the country. And we need a powerful voice of conservative values for President Trump to be able to continue the great things that he's doing in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much.
Mr. Johnson.
Am I allowed to do this or this is the only live mic? All right. I like to see my body language. I don't hide behind nothing. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility. These are the words of the preamble of our Constitution. And I would say them to myself as a child, as a song to comfort myself. You see, my story is I was born in foster care. I lived in foster care until I was 5 years old. So the United States of America was both mother and father. And the preamble was on the kindergarten wall. And we would say it after we said the Pledge of Allegiance. And when I said we the people, it meant that I wasn't alone. This is my family, America. When Thomas and Trudy Johnson adopted me at 5, my traumatized little body was frail, undernourished. I stammered and I stuttered. And I struggled to look at people in the eye. My mother did not know the diagnoses of psychosomatic disorders. She did not have access to psychedelic drugs and parapsychology and all the things that are diagnosed and pills popped for our children these days. All my mother knew how to do was pray. And she prayed to Jesus Christ. I would wake up with her hands on my head and my chest. And she would be praying and praying and praying. And let me tell you, Jesus Christ is who he says he is. I overcame the stammer and the stutter and the fear of man. I went on to become a valedictorian of my high school, a United States Air Force Academy graduate. Thank you. The CIA recruited me. I built spy satellites and stuff for the CIA. After my military career, I built a business, a strategy consulting business. I actually know how to build value to customers, shareholders, and clients around the globe. You may have heard of some of my clients: FedEx, MetLife, T-Mobile. I am an actual businessman. North Carolina, you need a steward for our republic, for our state, that can bring jobs and value and help us grow our economic output. I've already initiated a trade mission for our biotech sector to London, Berlin, Tokyo. We can double our biotech output, specifically IVD, which is in vitro diagnostics. Why IVD? Populations in London, Germany, Japan are aging. At-home in vitro diagnostics are going to be spread and multiplied by the millions and millions and millions of people. What does that mean for us? Billions and billions and billions in revenue and opportunity. That's just one idea. I have many. I'm acting on them right now. Trust Thomas Johnson as your United States Senator. I will bring jobs and value to you and help us grow our great state to ever higher heights. Thomas Johnson, United States Senate. Text Johnson to 53555. Text Johnson to 53555 to learn more. Thank you.
You both want to stand up and come forward. Does anybody have any questions for these two candidates? If we have no questions,
I got one.
Oh.
And what way, that when you mentioned Michelle, the issue will be, I think it will be just Trump campaigning for him, and it is not, you know what, it's not marriage. Trump will be the one campaigning for him, I'm sure, Michael Watley. That will be kind of disadvantage. What will be very qualified? Yes. But it will be Trump endorsing this guy.
So is the question, how do I get around the Trump endorsement for Michael Watley? Okay, yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I really believe that President Trump and his family have sacrificed way too much to give power back to the American people for us to slip back into politics as usual. And Michael Watley is part of politics as usual. And he has not been engaged with, communicative with the people of North Carolina. And you guys need someone who is going to not only be a leader, but also going to be a listener. This is about sending an ambassador to North Carolina, and you deserve someone who is connected to you. I tell people, DC is where I will work, and North Carolina is where I live, and it's where I will continue to live. This is an ambassadorship, and you come back, and I am engaged. I will say this, Michael Whatley cannot beat Roy Cooper, period. We know his name because we are Republicans and because we are engaged. Let me tell you, when you look at 2.7 million votes that I got, people don't understand this. Roy Cooper came after me harder than anyone else on the 24 ballot. They spent $8.3 million for me to try to defeat me, and they had to get Barack Obama down to Charlotte to campaign against me. Why? Because he called me the ultra MAGA, because he knows that I am going to expose what's wrong on both sides of the aisle. I am not doing this for the party. I'm doing this for the people. I tell people this is not about me. This is about we the people. And it's time that we have people up in Washington who understand that they are there as civil servants. My vow to you is that every decision that is made will be in the back of my mind what is best for America, what is best for Americans. Because the number one job of anyone that you elect, whether it's local, state, or at a federal level, is to protect you physically from threats foreign and domestic, and to protect your God-given individual liberties. And that will be my job. Thank you.
In my response,
Would you like to respond to that?
Oh, sorry, did I?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
absolutely, absolutely. And I agree with Michelle. We, the people, have the voice and have the vote. All due respect to other Republicans running, I honor all members of our party. I honor all members of our party who are authentic Republicans. We have a choice and a vote. And we all can make that choice and that vote. And you must use your heart and your mind when you make that choice and that vote. What's in our interest? And who will represent it fiercely? Who? Is it someone who survived terrorist bombings? Who survived the end of a shotgun on foreign soil and lived to tell about it? I'm battle tested. I'm battle proven. I'm battle ready. Thomas Johnson for U.S. Senate. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Next up, we have the Congressional District 1 candidates, Eric Rouse, and representing Bobby Hannig, Ed Stiles. Mr. Rouse, you can go first, please.
All right. I want to thank everybody for being here. I am Eric Rouse. There's an easy way to remember it. You can't spell America without Eric, so vote Rouse for the House. I grew up farming. That was my dad's hobby. It ended up being my job growing up. I am a Christian and I am a constitutional conservative. I've been married 28 years to my wife that I met in college. We have 2 children. My daughter Anna just graduated from Chapel Hill. I'm proud to say she went in as a conservative. She came out as an even bigger conservative. So I feel like I won there. My son Magnum's following in my footsteps. He's going to go to East Carolina University. While I was there, I studied industrial technology with a concentration in electronics and a minor in business. When I was done with college, I went home, volunteered as a fireman, became a county commissioner, and started working on my businesses. I currently have 6 primary businesses that I run. People run for me, help me. Also, I've served as a commissioner for 16 years. During that time, I've never once voted for a tax increase. I've signed the Taxpayer Protection Pledge, and I've stood by it, and I have been a staunch defender of the taxpayer money because it's my money in there too. And I don't believe the government needs more money. You can't cure a crackhead with more crack. It just doesn't work that way. I know what it's like having 6 businesses to sign the front of a paycheck. It's a lot of demand. I know what it's like to come up with a budget, and that's what we need. I will say this, you know, Don Davis is not an easy lift. He cuts any advantage we have right down to nil. So we need to get together. Whoever wins this, we need to get together, give him a little tush push, get him across the line, make sure we defeat Don Davis. Because the first thing he's going to do when he gets in office, he's going to vote for Hakeem Jeffries. Second thing he's going to do is he's going to vote to impeach Trump. And Trump right now is one of the greatest presidents we've ever had since George Washington, in my opinion. We can't let the man get lame duck. What he did in Venezuela was justified. Should we have blown up the boats? Yes. Should we have seized the tankers? Yes. Should we have told Congress about it? No. But we were absolutely justified in getting Maduro. The man sitting on the largest oil reserves in the world, and he chooses to sell drugs and poison to us to make his money. Greenland, we all know the ice flows. It comes down to security. The ice flows are opening up. The Russians are there. The Chinese are there. They're waiting to take it. Russia's already invaded. That, you know, they probably invaded there. We need it for the missile security. We also need it for the mineral oil rights. That will control where the world goes in the next century. And I've had my team send a note to Trump that will just make the Democrats' heads explode. What he needs to call the Greenland negotiations is the Green New Deal. So I'm Eric Rouse. I would appreciate your consideration and your vote. You can go to ericrouse.com. You can see my commercials and get rid of any of that loose spare change that's annoying you in your pocket. Thank you so much.
All right. My name is Ed Stiles. I'm a volunteer coordinator for Bobby Hanig for Congress. I want to first start with basically who is Bobby Hanig. Bobby Hanig, honestly, his story truly is a rags to riches story. Born in the South Philadelphia projects, dirt poor. His father, he eventually was adopted into a military family, and through that eventually went into the Army, and basically enlisted, and in 2 years became was fast tracked to the rank of sergeant after the Army, where he was a tank mechanic. Eventually parlayed that into repairing train engines, and then eventually settled into Currituck County, where that has been his home for the last 30 plus years, where he has started 2 successful small businesses, one of which he did sell just to slow down. And eventually, one of the reasons he got into politics, initially politics had never crossed his mind, but he had an issue where he could not get the remedy that he needed for his particular situation without the help of his Currituck County commissioner. And eventually he had voiced enough frustration. He eventually won his case with the state, but eventually he was told, you really need to consider running for county commissioner. And he did. And immediately after that, he became chairman of the Currituck County Board of Commissioners. Since taking office as a House member, I should point out he's been in the House for two terms. He's currently serving his second term in the North Carolina Senate. One of the things I know how much we all admire Donald Trump, and I can tell you with Bobby's temperament, the way he cares about his people, and the issues that he has stood up for in terms of eliminating DEI, supporting the Second Amendment on the state level, and of course supporting life on the state level. Those are all Donald Trump values on the federal level, and we need to carry that. We definitely need to carry that a step further in terms of taking those values that Bobby has represented very, very well through his votes, through his constituent service, and he will be the candidate to carry that to DC. And so one of the other things I would that I would also point out is I think many of y'all know the story about about Shrimpgate, what happened with that. That is proof positive, and I will be glad to expand further on that about how Bobby Hanig, like Donald Trump, truly stands up for his people, even when it's not too popular with the leadership. Thank you all.
Do we have any questions for these two candidates?
Couldn't have done that good a job.
Must have.
Gotta have a question.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody stay warm.
We, since we do have a little time later, I was hoping, that some of the candidates could stay and mingle with us after this is done, so you would get an opportunity to speak to them directly. One thing I wanted to mention, is that when Michelle and Thomas were up here, they have 7 candidates running in that race. So you're going to have to really pick who it is that you want to choose when you go into that primary ballot box.
You can beat Roy.
Well, yes, and that is the biggest factor. In the District 1 race with Eric and Mr. Hanig, there are 5 candidates in that race. So these were 2 of the people that are running, and there's 5 altogether. Next, we have Mr. Michael Byrne. He is a judge, North Carolina Court of Appeals. Come on.
Thank you very much.
And we often don't get to hear from our judge candidates, so we're really pleased to have him here tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I've got courtroom voice. Can you hear me without this microphone? All right. Simply put, about 30 days, you will choose your nominee for seat 1, the Court of Appeals, to run against Democrat John Arrowwood. I will be on that ballot. My opponent, Matt Smith of Charlotte, will be on that ballot. How do you choose? Qualifications and experience, because that's what Arrowwood's running on. I have it. For the past almost 6 years, I've served you as administrative law judge for the state of North Carolina. I've authored almost 400 legal decisions. Now, the measure of a judge's judging, so to speak, what happens when they're appealed? I've been appealed to the Court of Appeals 9 times, ladies and gentlemen. 9 times I've been unanimously affirmed by the Court of Appeals. I have never been reversed for legal error. My opponent can't say that. For 15 years before becoming a judge, I was a Court of Appeals litigator. I did more than 20 cases in the Court of Appeals and Supreme Court, representing state employees and cops. I never once lost a law enforcement officer's case in the Court of Appeals or Supreme Court, and that's honestly the proudest thing I've had in my career. Because you mess with my law enforcement officers, you're going to go through me. That's why I'm endorsed by one of the largest police organizations in the country, NAPO, 140,000 sworn officers and over 1,000 police organizations. Comes down to this. The law as written is what matters. What is in this Constitution matters. It's not complex. And my wife says you sound cocky when you say this, and I really don't mean this. Law's not hard. It's really not. I've been doing it for 30 years. You just read it. You read it and you apply it. It's not complex. The General Assembly tells us what it is. The Constitution tells us what it is. And there you go. That's my philosophy. And since I've been affirmed again 9 straight times by a Republican Court of Appeals, perhaps I'm doing something right. A little bit about me. I registered as a North Carolina Republican in June 1985. I was the editor-in-chief of the first conservative newspaper ever started at North Carolina State University. I was an intern at the John Locke Foundation. Between college and law school, I worked for L. Brent Bozell at the Media Research Center in Washington, D.C., fighting liberal media bias. Now, open up a newspaper, folks. I didn't win, but I was in the fight. So the issue is simply this. Do what I do. Because, folks, this is not an election for dog catcher. It's not. This is an election to our second highest court. And honestly, some of the things my opponent has done, and I'm not going to bash him. You know, I come from the old school. We're judges. We look at our qualifications. We look at our experience. That's what matters. Do what I do. Look at his qualifications. Look at his website. Look at my qualifications. Look at mine. Make your decision. But make your decision based on facts and this simple question. Can more than 20 cases in the Court of Appeals and Supreme Court help send John Irwin to retirement, or one case in someone's entire career? How's that going to stack up? Qualifications matter. Experience matter. And this matters. What does the preamble say? We give thanks to Almighty God, the sovereign ruler of nations. That was passed in 1971. It's true then, it's true now. Michael Byrne for Court of Appeals. Thank you very much. Oh, questions, man. Why do you talk so much? That's probably one question. Thank you all very much. I will just say real quickly, when I was working in DC, I grew up by Falls Lake, and I would drive through Granville County going to DC in my janky old car. And I was coming through tonight, it kind of looks a lot of it the same, and that made me very happy because the area where I grew up does not look the same. So thank you for keeping this place what it is, and thank you for having me tonight, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, we have two candidates for North Carolina Senate 18, Cheryl Caulfield and Chris Staub.
A little taller.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Cheryl Caulfield. Serving on the Wake County Board of Education, along with my community work, has brought me to run for your state senator here in District 18. When I decided to step up and serve, it wasn't political for me. It was because of the people. I'm deeply rooted in my community, and I have spent many years showing up, listening, and standing up for our families, even when it was uncomfortable. I first got involved locally because I saw the growth was not matching our infrastructure, our resources, and how it affected our family. But education has always been really close to my heart. For many years, I have volunteered in our schools, our PTA, tutoring, supporting our teachers, and helping in any way that I could. But when COVID hit, I saw firsthand the damage it was doing to our kids, academically, emotionally, and mentally. That's when I stepped up to advocate for them, and for the past 3 years, I've served on the Board of Education, fighting for transparency, higher standards, and a focus on fundamental life skills. It has been tough. And when I was told to sit down, I found another way to do it and to get the job done. I served on several boards, a division of the John Locke Foundation, a national school board coalition, and co-founded a coalition where we met with the General Assembly, and through the great work of Aaron Perret, were able to see several proposed bills and one transparency bill that just passed into law in August. I've served on many committees, facilities, budget, policy, safety, student achievements, and also served as vice chair. I'm a 22-year small business owner and a mom of 2 boys, as my son likes to say, born and raised right here. Before raising my kids, I worked in the corporate world, managing offices, opening branches, training teams, and fixing broken systems. So I'm used to working on big budgets between that work and the Wake County's $2.3 billion budget. And let me tell you, I think raising boys, teenage boys, was probably the hardest management job of all. By the time you're done with that, I think you should get an award. One of my core priorities is transparency and accountability, because we must have those honest conversations and lead to meaningful solutions and make good use of our taxpayer dollars. Another major issue that we are facing in our community is restoring affordable living. Our youth can't afford to buy a home, our middle class is struggling, and seniors are being forced out of their homes by raising taxes, insurance, and medical costs. We must restore affordability by being smarter with our spending and our priorities so families can stay rooted where they love to live. That leads directly to sustainable growth in infrastructure. Our roads, our utilities, our schools and public services, they must keep up with the pace. Growth must be planned responsibly so it strengthens communities instead of straining them. Our municipalities need to have the support to navigate that. Public safety is also critical. We have great highway connectivity, but it also brings the opportunity for human and drug trafficking, burdening us with a fentanyl and vaping crisis in our families. I successfully worked with municipalities to change ordinances, pushing the rape shops further away from schools, and will continue to support our law enforcement and keep our communities safe. I also want to protect our farmland and agricultural heritage so they're not forced to give away their generational land and lose it to unchecked development or outside sources. I have already won here in this district, nearly 60%. I won the unaffiliated and even switched over some of our Democrat friends to cross party lines, and we can do it again to dethrone Terrence Everett. I'm not just here to advocate for you, I am one of you. I have lived challenges families face and know how to bring people together to get the job done. I live with honesty, integrity, and grit, and you will have a senator with that mama bear passion to get it done for our community. Cheryl for NC, I would look forward to speaking to anybody after that. Thank you.
Can y'all hear me all right? Yeah. Good. I just want to make sure we get the clock ready here. You guys ready for the snow this weekend? No? Don't look at me. I'm not the meteorologist. You got it part two. Well, there you go. I'm Chris Stock. I'm running for the North Carolina State Senate for Senate District 18. For those of you who don't know, Senate District 18 is made up of Northern Wake and Granville counties. So all of Granville County and North Wake, including Wake Forest, Roseville, Wendell, a little bit of Wendell, a little bit of Zebulon. I'm a first generation college student, first time attorney. My family and I have grown up in Wake Forest for the last 21 years. I'm the oldest son of two small business owners. We've had to work to keep a roof over our head our entire life. And I give my parents credit instilling that, in me at such an early age. I then like to tell people I went on and got promoted to work at Zaxby's and Chipotle, which is, it's all right, over one on jokes, I guess, tonight. But that being said, I started my political career back in 2014 at the North Carolina Republican Party. I there went on to work in the North Carolina State Senate for State Senator Wesley Meredith out of Cumberland County. Spent some time up in D.C. for Congressman David Rouser as well, where I got to work on hundreds of constituent issues. And then from there went to work for the Senior Senate Appropriations Chair in the North Carolina State Senate, Senator Brent Jackson out of Sampson, Duplin, and Johnston counties, where I had the honor of working and passing 3 different state budgets and 4 different North Carolina Farm Acts to ensure that our farmers, our #1 economic driver in this state, are always taken care of at the end of the day. This campaign has been about 2 issues in my mind: quality of life and cost of living. If we're not increasing quality of life and lowering the cost of living, then frankly, we're doing something wrong. So when I talk about quality of life, what do I mean? Well, it starts with public safety. We have to keep criminals off our street. The same folks who commit crimes time and time and time again, we have to ensure that we're keeping public safety at the top of mind. So that means ending cashless bail. That means reforming magistrate judges. That means ensuring that people that should be involuntarily committed are able to do so. And that ensures that our law enforcement are given the funding that they need to actually be able to carry out and do their job on a daily basis. And with cost of living, we see it coming down for the Trump administration. We see the president's initiative that just came out that stops corporate interests from buying single-family homes. That's huge for our next generation, the next generation of people that are trying to acquire their own American dream. But it also starts with the president also capping credit card interest rates. It starts with here in the North Carolina General Assembly, we can curb the increases in property taxes to ensure that veterans and senior citizens aren't priced out of their homes. That's what we should be focused on. And in the General Assembly specifically, so folks in this room understand, we haven't had a Republican in this seat since 2019. So you know what does that mean while we're in Granville County right now? That means Granville County is left behind. And I want to make sure folks understand something. I've sat in these rooms at the General Assembly. I've been a part of these decision-making processes. Granville County is not a part of it. Until Representative Frank Sossaman was there, I'll tell you that firsthand, they are not a part of it. And we need to make sure they are. We need to make sure local issues here in this county are taken care of and at the front of mind in Raleigh on a daily basis. infrastructure needs. So we're not paired with Durham County and Wake County for every single road, bridge, or widening project that needs to happen in this county. That ensures that water and wastewater are taken care of, that we're getting state skin in the game and funding to ensure that we have what we need here in this county. And we need somebody who understands both North Wake and Granville County, somebody who understands rural communities. And I've spent my entire career doing that. Now, folks, what I can tell you is I can't promise perfection. I really can't. But I'm accountable. I'm present. I'm visible. And I plan to continue to be so. It's our job to come together to ensure that we beat Terrence Everett. And that's the only way we're going to be able to do it, is doing it together. So you can find more about my campaign at stock4nc.com. Also Stock4NC at Instagram, as well as on Facebook for those of you who follow. And thank you so much for coming out tonight and getting more educated here on the candidates in this race.
Stand up. All right. Somebody's got a question for these guys, right?
I do. Nobody else does.
Okay.
Will you support and vote for
Excuse me.
a simple fix in legislation that will close both the Republican and the Democrat primaries so that unaffiliateds are no longer commanded by law? Will you vote yes for that? Will you commit to us that when that comes to you, because it's coming, you'll vote yes for it?
Is that to me? Vote.
Let's vote.
Okay. Do you want
I
to?
went first last time. You
That's
go first.
fair enough. I have no problem. Yeah, sure.
So you will vote
Yes.
yes. You commit to vote that.
Absolutely.
Frankie commits to vote yes to that. So that's a partner in the Senate.
Yeah.
What about?
Well,
Cheryl?
yeah, there you go. Please.
Absolutely. I think what's happening right now, especially in Frank's seat, we have it over it's also in House 35 for Mike Sheetselt. Same thing is happening to him over there. That is unacceptable. It cannot happen. We need to have honest elections. And that means the people need to know what it is that they're voting for.
Yeah, and Cheryl's absolutely right. I mean, what we're seeing going on for people who don't understand is Democrats that were Democrats yesterday are now essentially running as Republicans. So folks like Representative Salzman and Representative Sheetselt have to spend all this money in primaries, where they otherwise would probably run uncontested because they've done great jobs in their district. If that could, that solution to this issue, sign me up, 100%.
And these are not people that just quickly change their mind. These are people, they didn't see the day of light, the light, they planned this, they had meetings. This is an organized effort and it's happening across yes. It's very well organized and it's happening across the state and the nation.
100%.
Brother Bob. And I congratulate the Granville Republican Party that Bob voted on the resolution that made a great statement.
Yes.
There's another question. Yes, sir.
Right now, we have 3 rhinos and 1 Democrat short of passing constitutional carry in North Carolina.
Yep.
How will votes be voted on that? 2 questions.
Yes.
That was easy.
I'm for it.
That was easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's if I understand it right, it's held up in the House, correctly? Am I correct in that? Yeah. I mean, the Senate did their job. I'm glad they did. But we've got to win some votes over there, and hopefully when we get this guy in the front row back in there, he can help us do it. So,
I think
yes, sir.
you guys will appreciate the new property tax.
Yeah.
But what we won't appreciate is how you pass down unfunded mandates to the county governments, which means we cannot provide the services that are necessary without increasing tax rates. So what will you guys do as legislators to make sure that you're not passing down unfunded mandates to local governments? And also, what will you do as legislators to make sure that you're not corralling the local municipalities and counties in regards to ordinances and so forth, in regards to how we control development?
Do you want to go first to the question?
Sure. I think the most important thing is that municipalities, you're here. This is your home. You've watched it grow. So you know what's most important here. We have to team with you. Us telling you what to do as a blanket policy does not help, as we know, and even as he mentioned, out in Wendell, out here in Granville County, out in Holly Springs, all of these outer counties are being ignored by what they need because of the infrastructure that's happening inside of these big cities like Raleigh and Cary. We need to have that flexibility in our spaces so that we could do what's right for our community.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, what we saw, I think specifically the downzoning provision, right? You recall that, I would assume. that was taken away. I think we need to make sure that local governments have the tools they need to make sure they do their job. It's not the job.
What about unfunded Monday?
Yeah, sure. Well, there, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? We can lower property taxes, but also recruit economic development to ensure that commercial and corporate can actually contribute things to the community themselves. So I think we could do two.
Is that at the state level, that we continue to unfund, not appropriately fund EC, our exceptional children.
Mhm.
We continue to pass down mandates to local government, which which causes us to attempt to generate more revenue in order to provide a plateau of services, not an increase of services, but a plateau. Because social services are mandated, health departments are mandated, a number of mandates. So I just want to make sure that when the legislature starts attacking that, which is great, but we don't want, I put on the losing end of that, and then we don't have a state budget to fall back on.
We don't have the tax base to support those types of services here, like Raleigh does.
I think you brought up a really good point with the EC students and the AG, where we actually have a cap that is unreasonable to what we actually have in our communities. When you have teachers and resources in your schools, it has to match what is sitting in your classroom. We cannot control how many kids come in that have those needs. We have to fund them, and we have to give the resources that they need for the children that we have, not for the number that somebody else provided them they can have.
Thank you both for willing to take the question, but again, I just want to emphasize, Granville County is $91 million a year budget for 65,000 people, 65,000 people. Wake County is $2 billion plus. Durham County is $1 billion plus. Unfunded mandate has a whole different perspective
Sure.
to counties that at that level.
Yeah.
So what us local elected officials don't want to be put in a position to where we're having to burden our people with something that you're demanding.
Yes, and I'll tell you that even within Wake County, you have that problem when you go out to some of the communities like Wendell and Zebulon. We don't have the same needs that we have in Raleigh. So it is a struggle that we have with the budget, trying to make sure that every single classroom and every single child gets what they need, and not because you just gave one blanket number.
Counties is the engine of North Carolina.
They are.
That's right.
And like I said
Thank
before, when
you.
I helped pass 3 different state budgets, we actually have line items directly for those districts in rural areas. And you can supplement and offset what you're talking about with the deficiency in local funding with state supplemental funding. Not entirely for all, recurring expenses, but definitely for non-recurring. And for EC kids, I've worked and advocated for raising that cap for years. It's up to the General Assembly to step up to do it. And
Thank
that's
you.
something I intend on.
Kids that ECD work the school system are being funded 13%.
Yeah, we can raise it to 15.
Please talk to them at the end. Thank you. People have good questions, and it is important for us to get those answered. Next up, we do have Mr. Frank Sossaman, who is running for North Carolina House 32 again. And we, as a party in Granville County, can openly endorse him, because the person that you will see on the ballot when you go to vote that is running against him has been considered a fake Republican. And so we have censured her, created a disqualification for her. And so because there is not another candidate that we consider a Republican, we can openly endorse Mr. Sossaman. And could you come up?
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight. I was thinking of a comparison of this Miss Askew that's running against me. It'd be like having a Carolina player on the Duke team. Could you imagine the chaos that would happen? One of those Duke players would finally just sock that Carolina player and knock him out. And sometimes that's what we need to do in this case too. My name's Frank Sossaman. I'm married to Vicki. We've been married 51 years, 52 in April. She is happily married. I have 3 boys and 3 daughter-in-laws. I have 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor for well over 45 years. I'm currently pastoring a small church in Vance County, Herman Community Church. I didn't want to come out of retirement, but they had 8 people and they were going to close them. And now we're running 150 plus in a just short period of time. Let me get down to the nitty gritty real quick. Most of you know my record. It's public. I'm not talking about what I'm going to do. I'm talking about what I am doing. I have been involved in Granville and Vance County for over 40 years. I didn't get paid for it. It was volunteer work, but it's my passion to do what I can to improve the community. Serving District 32 to me is personal. And I'll be your voice as I was before. I'll be your voice in Raleigh. Right currently, Granville County and Vance County has no voice. When they gather at the table, you're not represented. Now, if we don't get out and vote, there's a good chance a Democrat will win again. Republicans have got to get off of their bacunkus, their behind, or whatever you want to call it. There's some things I can't say, I don't want to say, but we've got to get the base, the Republicans out, especially for this primary. I don't know how the strategy of them getting Democrats to register to be a Republican or unaffiliated has worked. But if they come out and vote and the Republicans don't come out and vote, she'll be the Republicans' candidate for the general election. And then you'll have 2 Democrats running against each other. So let's tell our fellow Republicans, to me, it ought to infuriate every Republican to know that this kind of shenanigan is being pulled, unethical, and it slaps in the face of our very voting system. It ought to be against the law.
It should be, so let's close the primary.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I'm with you. Yeah, you don't have to talk me into it. I'm on your side. But I'll be continuing to emphasize and support education, workforce preparation, supporting rural health, safeguarding agriculture, protecting Medicaid. I have 2 rural hospitals in this district, and small hospitals across the state have closed. We're fortunate because these 2 hospitals are economic drivers. If those hospitals would close, it would be a vacuum that would take place, not only for health, but for wealth as well. So we have got to make sure that we protect Medicaid. We also have got to make sure that we have a representative who doesn't mind negotiating and speaking out and advocating. And I'm that kind of candidate. I brought $45 million back to the district. My first term, a freshman, I was placed on committees that mainly senior representatives are chosen: commerce, transportation, education, appropriation, education, K through 12. Those are powerful committees, and I was able, as a result of that, to get a lot done. God gave me favor. It's not because I'm good looking and smart, but it's because God gave me favor, and that's why I was able to get so much done. And there's so much more I could say, but I know my time is running short. I'm talking about according to the clock. I'm in the funeral home business and preaching funerals, so I know about all that time short. But anyway, I'm through.
You don't want to run away. There might be a question or 2.
Yeah, question. Yes, Emma.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just have a praise for you, Frank. I remember when you first came and you first stood up there and there was sweat running from your brow because you were so nervous about speaking in public. And look what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and you have my vote.
Thank you.
I think to Emma, just compliment you. I'm coming to your church very soon. I always say to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But the last time we ran, I remember I come. We did for me my view on that. Just comment. We did not do too hard. For me, stand. I will walk in Vance County, in Granville County, campaign for it. I promise that.
You better.
Very quick. But since you're the front in the House legislature and the Senate, this is the one that my comment only. Please, when we have the super majority, because I did not see that much during the Cooper and Michael Slim, but if we got the super majority, please, we just shove it all our Republican ideas. Because when we don't have the super majority, we lose again.
That's
I
right.
told Yarborough and also you did not take advantage being the super majority. We could get all the Republican plans and idea. Now we don't have it. So please, when we have the super majority, just run over to Jostein.
That's what I did. That's what I did. Thank you. Russ?
Yes, Frank, Frank, you did a marvelous job in bringing opportunities back to Granville County. Most appreciated by all of us. Now, we have a growing issue with the South Carolina Water and Sewer Association. It's not a growing issue, but it's an issue where, quite frankly, is that we just cannot continue to do some of the things we want to do to improve the situation without encumbering a tremendous cost upon the user. And so part of what you do, if you could, is that, we would really appreciate it. And you could explain to the audience how important it is to have a legislator such as you up there that can potentially bring home, for instance, a project being worked on Buscawassa now, $80 million project, which we received 35 million, and close to 40 million because of you.
Yeah.
Funding to help with that. And if you could explain how valuable that is to have a legislator such as you for Granville County, when other counties receive this type of funding on a consistent basis, and we don't.
Well, it's critical. I mean, we don't have the tax base to do all that we want to do, so we need to get money from Raleigh. And money is there, but you have to speak out for it. So I was able to bring, I think it was $5 million to Swassa, $10 million to Oxford. Now, Brian Kahn will tell you that, because that money was up in the air there for a while, and he'll tell you that he saved it. He had nothing to do with it. Huh? He's a con man. That's right. I mean, that's the truth. I was able, along with others who spoke up, was able to keep that here in Oxford. But my point is, if you don't get the right guy there, you aren't going to have anybody who's going to defend you and protect what you have. But the money that I was able to get for water was enormous. 11.5 million for the Advanced Manufacturing Training Center over in the industrial park. That has already seen economic growth. Businesses that are moving into that park, buying property in that park. I'm just telling you, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I just want you to know the difference it makes when you have a representative who doesn't mind speaking up, who first of all circulates in the district, meets with the county commissioners, meets with school board members, meets with city council members, meets with the airport authority. I met with the airport authority, and when the meeting started, one of the board members said, hold it, before we get started, there's something I want to say. He said, I've been on this board 20 years, and this is the first time we've ever had a state representative to meet with us. And he said, and the strange thing about that is, we didn't initiate the meeting. He did. And I heard that over and over and over again, because I realized that if I'm going to represent you, I have to know what the needs are. And as a result of that, that's one of the reasons I was able to be so effective, because I was able to talk to those in leadership in appropriations about money that we needed for various projects. So it just goes on and on and on. So you have to have that kind of guy. And to me, again, it's personal. And I'm looking forward to serving. Yeah.
water mess in Raleigh. He's been in office for 2 years. He's never picked the phone call. I don't even have the number to call him. Just tell me, this family answered the phone, and asked for support.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a statement that in the last election, when you lost Vance County, there was only one Republican that won of any office. That was Yarber in Vance County. You won Granville County.
Yeah.
But we are really gonna have to get the Granville vote out.
Yes.
To overcome that Democrat.
That's right. That's right.
He will. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you, Ron. That's true.
Correct.
That's true.
Thank
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Sounds good. Now, one thing I have to say is, I don't think Miss Askew would help us out much, do you?
I don't Frank, not a phony.
That's
Right.
Republican.
All right, next up, we have two people. They do not have opponents in the primary, but it's kind of a first opportunity for us to get to know them. And so I was happy that they were willing to come. Joshua Shank is running for District 7 for the Granville County Commissioner. And then we have Joe Cinema, who is running in District 2. So if you two would please come up.
I guess before the clock starts here, you might already started, but I want to give a huge shout out to the Granville GOP for setting this up. Great opportunity. Thank you for all who attended in person, online, and everybody that decided to show up candidate wise. So this is awesome. This is my first time, so I'm happy to be here. So yeah, let's start the clock. Again, I'm Josh Shank for District 7, Granville County Commissioner. And I want to just say that we have just a phenomenal opportunity, commissioner-wise, to have a majority Republican commission in Granville County. And that's super, super exciting. I don't think we realize how important that is for us. So I just wanted to mention that before I get into the nitty-gritty. First time ever. So that's that I had to bring that up. So I want to kind of where it all began for me is just servitude. I started Wingate Community HOA, became president after just joining because I wanted to serve the community, my local community, and then I kind of got involved with Butner as far as the Parks and Recs Committee. And then I got involved with the Butner Community Association. So where it started for me was just complete service, volunteering. And then, once you get involved with committees and boards, then somebody gets in your ear and says, hey, why don't you run for town council? Gave that a thought. And I was like, okay, sure. I was the youngest that decided to run probably by about 30, 40 years. So my experience with, council is going to go well with, county commissioner. And when I was approached about county commissioner, I had to get my wife's support before I made any decisions. My wife and I just recently had our first child, which thank you. That's going to go well with kind of what my plans are going into the county commissioner role. Granville County stands at a crossroads. Our community is growing, our families are changing, and our economy is evolving. We need leadership that protects what makes our county special while preparing for the future. Safe communities, educational excellence, economic growth. Too often, government tries to treat symptoms instead of addressing causes. I believe in a different approach. One that focuses on root cause solutions. Long-term planning, quality-driven investments.
which leads to my 8 pillars that define my platform. Number 1, traditional values and family-centered culture. Strong families grounded in Christian values, which is missing, the number 1 missing factor in everything nowadays. Create strong communities, and our county's policies should reflect and support that moral foundation. Number 2, public safety and strong communities. Protecting families and neighborhoods means prioritizing law enforcement and our first responders and policies that keep our communities safe. Number 3, quality schools and collaborative improvement. By strengthening the relationship between the school board and county commissioners, listening to families, identifying why students are leaving the county system, and driving continuous improvement, we build school systems that Granville families are proud to choose and that competes with the best in the state and the nation. Something we can really be proud of. Pro-business growth and economic opportunity. Lower taxes and fiscal responsibility. By holding the line on taxes and conducting a thorough needs versus wants review of county spending, we can maintain the tax rate while ensuring essential services fit within a responsible, sustainable budget. Stewardship of taxpayer dollars will be a top priority. Representation for our taxation. Number 6, resident representation and government accountability. Number 7, prosecuting our rural identity and way of life. And number 8, a county that supports every stage of life. Together, we can secure a future where Granville County remains a place people choose to live, work, raise their families, not because they have to, but because they want to. Thank you.
This is all new to me, so just bear with me. But
Hey, doing good.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
so my name is Joe Cinema. I've been here 30 years, approximately. I retired from Highway Patrol 2 years ago. Maybe y'all know me because that's what I did. These roads. But gray. But been here 30 years. I retired Highway Patrol. I got the longleaf pine, serves in the state of North Carolina. Just raised my family here. My wife, 2 kids. I know I live in northern Granville off Grass Creek Road. That's one of my things. The bridge is been closed for 2 years. They ain't done nothing with it yet, so it's kind of a pet peeve. Maybe we can get the ball rolling. But some of the reasons that when they did the tax evaluation a couple of years ago, and it's supposed to be revenue neutral, it wasn't. And so I understand we come from a limited budget, but somehow we gotta fix that problem. And a lot of people are upset about it. I'm upset about it. Well, everybody's taxes went up. I know we're limited, but still, though, it's crazy how much a lot of people's taxes went up. Also, to support the law enforcement, because I'm a law enforcement background, I think we can do a lot with accountability with the sheriff's department. I mean, I don't know. You wonder, he's got 4 or 5 cars. I'm not trying to be mean, but where the money's going with that he raises or spent county wise. So that's I like accountability. That's what I like to do, and we have a good candidate right here tonight, Mr. John Moores. But and this accountability additionally, I like to work at local communities, STEM, Stovall, all the areas they need the help from the county commission. I think, and the state would help too with that too. And that's a big thing for me. It'll be involved. You can accomplish a lot if you can talk. If you don't talk, then you can't accomplish anything. And And big thing is if there's a lot of waste and fraud in government. I mean, I try and find what a Trump thing, but there's got to be a lot of waste and fraud in government. If there wasn't, then that's when we got to tackle that. And that'd be one of my pet peeves, another pet peeve. And yeah, I think, but patrol, when I was working, we got a lot of things done because when they built the interstate, they redid Interstate 4 lanes, there was no median crossovers. And I'm not saying I had a lot to do with it, but DOT engineer came to me, what do we need to do? Get easy access to Medicare, EMS, sheriff to cross the interstate, because it's all guardrail now. And we had 3 median crossovers. And with law enforcement background, talking to DOT and that, I think that was a big thing that we can get going. That's one thing, because if you can't cross the median, you got to go 10 miles up, come back again. And so I think those crossovers a big help. And I'm not saying I had a lot to do with it, but when they come around, I'll talk to the troopers. That's what we all said. We need some crossover median. And that's one example of how we can get things done. And in closing, I'd just like to say, it's new to me. I think I good fiscal conservative that we can, check taxes at the same time, try to see what's going on the scoreboard, why there's such mass exodus of kids. Is there another solution we can go to that we can solve that problem? There's got to be, because your charter schools, your private schools are taking a lot of kids. It just got to be another area we can maybe come to agreement on, or see what issues, because they're working on Holly. I guess they tore down the building, the park down there in Holly now. So, but that's it.
Do we have questions for either of these gentlemen?
I have one. Josh, do you have an opponent in after the primary? A Democrat opponent?
I do not.
Congratulations! Joe, you have one, don't you?
I do not. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You have one.
it could be,
The general election, right?
yeah.
The incumbent.
The incumbent, Mr. Blake.
Oh, yeah, he's got
He does
a
have
yeah.
He does.
Cool. I just.
Here, Ducky. Here. All right, everybody, I hope you're doing okay. I want to say thank you for all the candidates here, wonderful candidates, all the visitors here, all the GOP leadership. And I want to say a statement here from my good friend. So, and I'm going to say it because it's better to understand the discipline of this of leadership, and also be able to be together. So if you want to win, you have to be together. You have to be a team. Yes, yes.
So I was going to run for this position too. I have to be honest.
Oh.
We had some conversations, 3 times, we have a meeting. And a lot of people call me, leadership from here also, elsewhere. And I'm a kind of person that I like a boomerang. Everybody, independents, Democrats, conservative, everybody, I'm a soccer coach. I'm very active in the community. So, sometimes, and this is a message for everybody here, all the candidates, doesn't matter who wins, doesn't matter who lost. We have to stay together. So I talked to my pastor, I did my own, I went to the church, and I asked questions to you.
Spoke to me.
Yeah, I spoke with a lot of people, good people, that love us, and we are family.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna be damaged any primary here, so I prefer to support him. And I went in public, so you got sorry. You know what I did it because there was a lot of rumors on here. People like to damage image about rumors, and I have to go and support him 100%. And I want to work with you, and I want to work with you. So this is part of this. And after he got the Homeland Association, I was part of the association. And I'm gonna say the years. I'm kind of open. I'm 20 years old. I'm 57 right now.
And
So-
we're glad you're here because
No,
he
and-
was just in an accident and he's recovering.
Yes,
Yes.
I was an accident.
We pray to God that you're with us.
And I'm saying this, if you want to win these primaries, choose the right candidate. It doesn't matter who we love, we are family. So thank you very much.
Does anybody have a question?
I just want to make a comment also. This is not politician. This is a sentiment.
Quick light.
Oh, correct. Maybe I don't know. Maybe. Look, I've been telling to team in Ross for many, many years, when we're gonna have a majority of the Granville County Commission.
November.
We're gonna get.
Yes.
Got it right.
So, I want to thank you because I see you there in the meeting at the Batna one time. There's a new, young, good-looking man. Could be my son.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, this District 7, I grew up, I've been 30 years here in the county. I remember when I know that I go to church back in place with them, the late Gersmo, good man, Ronnie Allgood, in the day, Jimmy Goods, I know all of them. They own that seat since I get here. Nobody touched that District 7. Nobody even voted Republican at all. So now you get it. I'm so happy when you're the man now.
All right. Great question. I'm gonna look on this side. Does anybody have a question over here? Thanks, guys. I know that you're passionate about what we do. Thank you so much. Oh,
We got one more.
oh, yes.
Okay. So I was glad to hear both of you mention public education. So
Yes.
I'm really excited about that. As you guys probably know, I've worked really hard to help mend the relationship with the county commissioners since I've been in office in 2022.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you mentioned waste and fraud. Well, most of you know that there's none of that. There's none of that in our school system. So I just want to, I want a commitment that we're gonna continue to work together if you guys are elected, as well as I have. Josh has been elected. Yes, with both of these gentlemen right here, because I mean, it really has made a huge difference. And as far as why we're losing kids, public perception. So everybody in this room is playing a part in that right now. Because we just had the highest graduation rate that we've ever had in the history of Granville County. Yep, best superintendent that we've ever had. And I'm hoping that we're gonna take a Republican majority on the Board of Education in 2026.
All right.
I just want, to know that you guys are gonna continue to work with us and continue to support the public school system.
I will, yes, ma'am.
Can I speak on that?
You have
You
half
definitely
a
have
minute.
mine. Yes, but it's so important because we're starting our family, my wife and I, and we're having those conversations about what schools are good and getting the feedback from other people, other parents. And I'm talking to my wife. She may be a part of that school board and that process. So you have undoubtedly my support for the school system, and I'm excited to see where we can take it.
I can tell by what you had to say.
To support our SROs in our schools.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
For all law enforcement.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Whew, we got some long-winded people here today. No, I know that we try to limit time and so forth, but we have to get our ideas out too and be able to share what we're thinking. Next up, for the running for Board of Education in District 6 is Jennifer. And Jennifer, is it Lavrak or is it? I see her name all the time, but I never know how to pronounce it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jennifer Laverick. I am running for District 6 for the school board, and I'm happy to be here. Obviously, I'm not a politician, but I am. I'm a wife and mom. We've got 4 children. One is 19 at UNCW, and then we have an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old. So I have been involved in lots of volunteering within the schools, all the schools the kids have been at, PTAs, room moms, helped on committees. Really, we've been very, very involved. I also have been involved on professional boards as well. I've got experience with the Raleigh Association of Realtors. I served on their grievance committee and professional standards committee, where obviously we're making decisions, we're coming together, working together with that, and then also served on the Board of Adjustments in a small little town called Beach Mountain, where again we were impacting our decisions. We're impacting their livelihoods, and we all came together to work together on that. I've been happily married for 22 years. We do obviously live in Granville County, and we call Granville County home. I attend church here with my family, very active in the community. We are foster parents with Granville County, and we've had the pleasure of caring for children and, obviously Granville, Vance, and Franklin, because all those counties work together. So that's been very huge and a great experience with that. I think we can all agree there's a lot of good in Granville County, but I also think we can agree there's room for improvement in the school system. I think we need to support teachers. For sure, try to retain them. I think there's work that can be done there. And I think we can also listen to parents, listen to teachers. What are their pain points? What can we help them with? I also know, obviously, in the volunteering I've done and the involvement I've had, it is very, very important. We are seeing a huge decrease in parent involvement. That's nationwide, that's state level, that's county level, and that's huge. I think we need to find a way to bring that back. So that is definitely lacking. So at the end of the day, I care about the community. I'm vested here. We've got children in schools. I care about kids. I like helping people, and I'm just here to put in the work to make a difference.
Questions for Jill?
Hi, it's nice to meet you in
Yes,
person.
you as well.
So right now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but your general election race is the primary.
Yes, sir.
And that doesn't make really a lick of sense.
I agree.
So one of the things, if you were to get on the school board, would be if you would support vocally moving the election to November. So instead of 6,000 people participating, you have
Absolutely.
22,000 people.
Absolutely.
That's good.
I'm very much in agreement with that.
Any others? All right, thank you so much, Jill. Next up, we have a candidate for Granville County Sheriff. He also has 2 opponents in the primary race. They were unable to be here tonight, so you might have to do a little extra research concerning those, but Mr. Morris will share with us now.
Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to the GOP for holding this. It's a great event. I want to thank everyone for coming out and everyone that's watching online. Thank you for that. So my name is John Morris, and I'm running for sheriff of Granville County. I have 4 minutes to tell you what I think is important. So let's start off with what I think is the most important. I'm a Christian, a husband, a father, and a grandfather. We live in Granville County. We're raising our family in Granville County, and that's why I'm standing here tonight. I want to tell you a little bit about my service and what I think is important and what I think you should know. So I'm a 30-year career law enforcement officer. I've spent my 30 years in Durham. I served my community at every level. I was a patrol officer, patrol sergeant. I was a vice narcotics officer. I was a vice narcotics sergeant. I was special teams operator and a special teams leader. I did just about everything you could on those teams, and I was a detective sergeant for a while. I helped stand up Durham's first highway drug interdiction team. I just didn't work it. I invented it in Durham. I also was the beta test for the crime area target team, which is a group that is specifically designed to take violent offenders and drug traffickers off the street. As a certified BLT instructor, I taught both recruits in the academy, and I taught in-service training. I taught topics such as highway drug interdiction, high-risk building entries, search and seizures, active shooter, vehicle stops, defensive tactics, just to name a few. I was also a commander. I was a watch commander for a while, and I was a division commander for a while. This gives you a different perspective when you've worked in the trenches with those officers, and now you're their commanders. I led more than 60 people on a daily basis. I was responsible for the personnel, but I was responsible for more than just the results. I was responsible for their safety, their professionalism, and their accountability. When I retired, I went into the private sector. I transitioned as a director of security for a large corporation in the Triangle. From there, I became the general manager of one of their real estate holdings. And in that role, I got to experience more than just a law enforcement concept there. So I became a leader of civilians, and that was new to me. But I also had to become a budget master. So there are a lot of budgets there, and we spend money differently in the private sector than we do in the public sector. And so I was responsible for a complex operation, budget management, and fiscal responsibility. I understand how to run an organization, how to manage people, and how to steward taxpayer dollars wisely. Now, I want to speak plainly about this, about why I'm the only one here. As you can see, I'm the only sheriff's candidate who chose to be here tonight. Standing in front of you, giving an account of my record and answering tough questions isn't easy. As a matter of fact, like Joe, I'm not new to much, but I'm new to this. And so as I stand here to answer your questions and give an account of my record, it's not easy, but leadership rarely is easy. I've spent my entire career doing hard things. I show up every time, whether it's convenient or whether it's uncomfortable. I want you to look closely at all the candidates that's in this race. I want you to look at what they're all promising you that they'll do if elected. And then ask yourself which candidate actually has the experience to deliver on those promises. Because here's the truth. As hard as you may try, you can't rewrite history. An aggressive stance against drug dealers today, if it was important to you then, why is it not important to you today? It would have been important to you then. Protecting our most vulnerable, our children and our elderly, was either a priority then or it wasn't. You cannot suddenly claim today what you were unwilling to do yesterday. Be wary of the man that promises you something tomorrow when he had the ability to deliver and chose not to yesterday. And finally, I want to encourage each of you to examine our careers and our resumes. All three candidates have public-facing social media and websites. So ask yourself who was really in the game. Mr. Sossman used a sports analogy, so I will too. Who's really in the game? Who was on the field and who sat on the sidelines watching? Because it's hard in the game. We all wore the uniform, but who watched and who participated? Because I was in the game every single day, every single minute of every single play. Ask yourself who got the participation trophy and who has the highlight reel. That's going to be important. You see, I was in it every minute and my record proves it. Early voting begins February 12th and election day is March the 3rd. And I respectfully ask for your vote. I want to stop looking backward. I don't want to look at a past. Nobody wants to go back there. I think we're all tired of that. So let's stop looking backward. Let's move Granville County Sheriff's Office forward. With leadership grounded in experience, accountability, and results, I believe I'm the only candidate who can successfully do that. Tonight, I ask for you to cast your vote for me, your next Granville County Sheriff. Leadership you can trust, a sheriff's office you can be proud of. Thank you and God bless you.
Any questions for Mr. Morris?
Me? Can I go first? Oh, I'm gonna stand up for this one. And
Quick now.
Oh.
Quick question.
Question straight to the point. This is a question and comment. I just want to say. Question. Okay. You are three primary candidates, okay? I don't name the name here. I just want to make sure, because I've seen this many things in the past, we need to unite the two who that make it in the primary to support all the Granville County Republicans to put whoever the winner for the primary, because I've seen this many times. If we divided too much, Robert is laughing, smiling, because that's what happened the last time. It's not exactly, but whoever the two that will not make to the primary, we need to unite and support the winner, or else we lose.
I guess the question is, will you
So,
support another
I think,
candidate?
sure, I think all three candidates believe they're the best person for the job or they wouldn't be running. This is hard. And so I think the primary goal is to have Granville County have a Republican sheriff for the first time ever. I'm going to support whoever wins the primary.
Who else had a question?
Ed?
Yeah, I got a question. So we have a lot of problems in Granville County as part of the extradition from Florida all the way down to Granville County, Durham, all the way up to Fayetteville. We have a lot of situations that extradition of drug, human trafficking, all that kind of issue. That has to be addressed more aggressive. First question, do you have a plan to work in that particular areas?
You mean highway drug interdiction?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I did highway drug interdiction for 4 years, stood a team up.
So why you think you plan?
I know how to do it, and they've done it. I mean, we've been out on the streets. The Granville County Sheriff's Office has taken thousands and thousands of dollars off the highway. They know how to do it. It's a matter of getting the right person in that position. You have to understand that has to be a select person that you choose for that, because that officer is out taking money and drugs by themselves sometimes. And so you got to make sure that whoever that officer is a good officer, that's an accountable officer. We can't police for money. Like you can't go out just with the idea of let's seize some money. We have to be doing our job, which is protecting the citizens and taking those ill-gotten gains and those drugs off the street. It's about choosing the right people, setting up the right team. And Granville County had that at one time.
So they got that well done. So the other basic observation would be the tax force, federal tax.
We're gonna move on.
And then the immigration law, section 287G6, we can talk separately.
Yeah, after.
Be great. Back there. Yes.
I just wanted to ask if there's anything in particular off the top of your head that you would immediately institute to combat drug and gang activity in Granville County that the current sheriff's office is not already doing?
Sure. That's a good question. So I think the concept now, or the theory now in the Granville County Sheriff's Office, that things are done differently, and the way drugs get to point A to point B is differently, and it's more through electronic means. But let me tell you, the way drugs and guns and money get from point A to point B is in a car. In 2022, I'm told there were 10 traffic stops in the whole county. And so the sheriff sometimes doesn't want to have traffic stops, right? Because I got to get votes. The sheriff needs to get votes. Well, we're going to change that. Like, we're going to aggressively go out and we're going to look for those things, look for those drugs, stop those cars and do that. I think just by doing that, as you begin to do that, then you'll see the seizures pick up and the arrests pick up and the drugs go down. Now, you can expect there to be a spike when you begin to do aggressive drug interdiction. There's going to be a spike in crime because we'll be taking it off the street, and hasn't been taken off the street, that's going to be counted as a crime. So you should look for that too.
One more, and then
Yeah, just real quick, so your presence and your qualifications are unquestionable, and we really appreciate you being here. The true test and the true battle, I believe, is once you get past the primary. How do you plan on combating, the other side of things for November? When it comes, how can we help you? How do you plan on combating that and really driving the wave of excitement for yourself?
Sure. Well, I think that I think I'm going to win, so I'll say that out here on. But whoever wins, whoever it is that wins, right, in the primary, we need to really push that person for the general, right? You got 3 law officers that are pushing for that. The guy that holds the job now wasn't a law enforcement officer. And so you got three qualified people that are pushing for that. I believe of the three, I'm the most qualified, but we need to get behind that person, right, to set that excitement in motion. Still not sworn. Yes, sir.
I should clarify from Vance County. Now, I come over here to see this. I'm interested in our county and your county too. First of all, I want to say that you really conducted this well. That this is the first one I've been to like this. This has been stuff well here. But the question I'm going to ask you is something I don't know the answer to, and I'm just curious about it. Do we have an immigration policy or problem in Granville and Vance County, or is it something that's not something we have to worry too much about?
Well, I've not seen that in the news. I've not seen immigration issues in the news. And so I haven't seen anything come out about that in Granville County.
One more quick question.
Yeah. Since you have, with the background that you have, what is the number one thing that you believe that is missing from the current sheriff's organization that you will fix?
So I think there are three problems, and I'll talk to you in the order that I think they are. Number one, there's got to be a change of the command staff, the sheriff and that group that's leading. I believe that's the number one problem. Number two problem is recruiting, training, and retaining good officers. And the third problem is the morale in the department. I believe once you change problem number one, problem number two and number three change themselves.
All right. And last but not least, we have a candidate for Congressional District 13, Mr. Sid Sharma. And his opponent, he's running against our incumbent, Mr. Brad Knott. So, Mr. Sharma.
May I get a raise of hands? How many veterans we got here in the house today? I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for your services, because without y'all, we would not even have a country, and none of us would be able to run for office today and come here. So I'd like to thank each and every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for everything y'all do. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sid Sharma, and I'm running here for Congress in District 13. A little bit about me. I'm a Christian. I was born and raised here in North Carolina. I'm a lifelong District 13 resident, and I'm an accountant. So let me first begin by saying, thank God that President Trump is back into the White House. Now, I'm going to say something controversial or not very popular, but things just aren't going too great in Washington right now, folks. Currently, right now, our president is being stonewalled by rhinos in Congress. And it is an absolute shame right now. And folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat it right now. This is a primary. And while I'm not trying to make it a habit of trying to use the entire speech to trash my opponent, something must be said. And currently right now, my opponent, our current Congressman Brad Knott, has misbehaved and has injured our district. He is currently ranked right now as the most liberal Republican in office, with 8 Democrats ranked more conservative than him right now. And one of those is Don Davis. And if you guys remember, we just changed the maps to get rid of him. Now, people are probably saying right now, well, Sid, it's real nice that you talk a lot of trash, but why else should I vote for you right now? So here are the solutions. If you elect me to Congress, there will be no foreign aid at all. We have sent billions and billions of foreign aid just this year under President Trump's term because of rhinos. And what happens? District 13 has to foot the bill every single time, and we get nothing in return. Second, you elect me to Congress, you will see your gasoline prices drop by 45 cents a gallon. People are saying, Sid, how are you going to do that? Eliminate the federal gas tax. Currently right now, that's 18.4 cents a gallon. You will see that drop, and I will put a cap on what states charge. The grand total for that will end up seeing a reduction in 45 cents per gallon on your gasoline. And speaking of taxes, I'm an accountant, folks. Let's start by lowering people's taxes even more. I make a pledge that anybody who makes less than $50K will not pay a dime in federal taxes. How? Why? Because they only account for 3% of the nation's revenue. And just this year, we wasted 30% of our nation's revenue to waste and fraud. You subtract 30% by 3, we still have another 27% to give back to all other taxpayers in all other brackets and all other businesses. And now, folks, I'm going to save the best for last, getting rid of these illegals that we got in here. It is time for Congress to now jail politicians who harbor sanctuary cities. It is now time to jail corporations that hire illegal aliens and penalize them civilly. It is time to financially recompensate Americans who have been harmed by illegal aliens. And finally, it is time for Congress to grow a pair of balls and to use our Article 1, Section 8 powers to sanction and punish Mexico for allowing every single illegal alien that has came over the border. Now, folks, I'm gonna leave it at this. If you elect me to Congress, the very worst that can happen is that you'll get a congressman who truly cares. You will get a congressman who truly shows up to events. You will get a congressman who actually lives in the district, and you will get a congressman who truly wants to fight for President Trump and to cement his legacy as the greatest president in American history. Thank you, folks.
Questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you live?
I live in Wake County. Lifelong there. I was born in Wake County, raised there. Born in Rex Hospital. Yes, ma'am.
I love your enthusiasm.
Oh, thanks so much.
I wanted, you said that Brad Knott is the most liberal. What are some of those examples that you can give us?
Examples are currently right now, his accomplishment is that he has only brought in $1.1 million in the district. Currently, he used to be a federal prosecutor. His salary was only $80,000. During this time in Congress, his net worth is now $5.48 million. And on top of that, he has sent $800 million to Ukraine, $500 million for Israel, $500 million to Taiwan, $357 million for Iraq and Syria, $168 million for Jordan, and God knows what else. Oh, and another $5 billion for refugee that just happened in the past few days. So that's several billions of dollars that we will never see back. And we all have to pay that as taxpayers. And $1.1 million, we have 750,000 constituents. You divide that by a 1.1 million by 750K, that's about $1.40 per each citizen. That is irresponsible, and that is not fiscally responsible. That is not in line with Trump policies.
Excellent.
Sid,
Yes, Mike.
I'm really sorry. Isn't it true that some of those bills that you're referring to that he voted for were not single issue bills?
Elaborate a little bit
So
further.
in other words, was there a bill where he had to vote on where the expenditure was going to be $500 million to Israel by itself? Was that by itself?
No, sir, it was not. No,
It
sir,
was
it was
part
not.
of the big beautiful bill, wasn't it?
No, no.
Wasn't it part of the defense appropriation?
For Israel, I don't
For
believe
Israel,
so.
For Iraq, for Ukraine?
It was either for that. I have the bill. It's House Resolution.
I'll skip to the end. It was a defense appropriations bill.
Okay, that was House
So
Resolution
without
60.
doing that, then we don't fund the defense department.
Not necessarily. We could have.
No, definitely necessarily.
We could have
That's
funded.
exactly what it is. So hey, I'm with you. And I can tell you that I have given Brad Knott an earful about this stuff. And I agree with you. He has not been as conservative as I wanted him to. But the fact of the matter is that he is trying to support the president. And when the president contacts you and says, I need your support on this, the answer is, yes, sir.
But the thing about that, though,
I
is
believe if you went to Congress when the president called you and said, Sid, I need your support on this, you'd say yes, sir, too.
I draw the line on no foreign aid, though, because there was many.
How are you gonna?
I'm with you.
How are you?
I'm with you.
Hold on.
I agree.
Sid, I'd like to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
So are you saying that we should provide zero foreign aid to project a measure of defense for our nation?
No, I'm just saying what all that foreign aid
So
goes.
is not some of those appropriation bills for defense, that is to protect and be spearhead of our nation's defense, not part of those fundings?
Not technically, no. The certain portion that go to foreign nations have nothing to do with American defense. Many
So
people
the
have filed.
support to Israel- So let me ask you, the support to Israel, and this is the one I'm gonna focus on.
Mhm.
Was that just for domestic? Was that not, did that not include was that just for domestic means to take care of domestic issues within Israel? Or did that have any defense alignments with the funding in regards to the Patriot system and other anti-missile programs?
A large chunk of it did go to domestic stuff for Israel, and we did fund Israel's Silver Dome system, whatever that was. But I fail to see how their Silver Dome system has any benefit to America. We have the Golden Dome system, but why we have to fund another nation's military defies common sense to me. And Thomas Massey, he has filed amendments. Many other people, Congressman Tim Burchett, they have all filed amendments to get rid of that, but they were defeated on vote. So sadly, of course, the votes had to come in there, but at the end of the day, those funds did go for things that had nothing to do.
So I just want to be clear.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you answering my questions. You're not for any foreign aid for any defense measures?
As provided it has no benefit to America that I can see on paper, then no, sir.
So to protect the Persian Gulf, to project defense in the Persian Gulf, will we not need to stand up some defenses in that region?
I see no reason why we should even be in the Persian Gulf. When President Trump first ran, he wanted to bring all troops out from Syria, everywhere, and wanted to take them all out. I'm for bringing all our troops back home and focusing on an America First domestic issue agenda.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. It's been a great evening. I appreciate all of you coming. That was our last speaker. We do have a little time if, you want to mingle out in the entry and ask some of these candidates questions. You're welcome to do so. Have another cup of coffee and a